for sure and for free that your time here is not going to be a thing you're going to regret. Okay, I'm going to try to ensure that I stick to 1 hour so that we will get to experience the full energy and with full energy and experience the whole thing behind this very career session today. Okay, so guys, welcome everyone once again. Just for an introduction, a brief introduction about myself before we get started, so that you don't be like, who is this person talking to you? All right, so my name is Chinyere Migwe. All right, well, I go with the name Chichi. Okay, so I'll be your facilitator for this very career session. Okay, and I don't know, for those of you that are just joining my session for the first time, my session is always interactive. Okay, it's always interactive. I always want to hear from you, and also I would like you to also hear from me. We get to learn from each other. Okay, so guys, welcome everyone, and buckle your shoes, buckle your belts for an interesting session. Okay, so I'm going to start sharing my screen right away. Okay. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so guys, welcome once again. All right, and today we are going to be talking about business intelligence in action, from raw data to strategy. From raw data to strategy. Now, there is this meme that I saw that it said data everywhere. Like every day we tend to generate millions of data. And as you already know, we are in the world of IT, right? So everything has to do with data. So today we are going to be talking about business intelligence in action. We are going to be seeing everything about business intelligence and how it all works. Okay. So guys, like I said earlier on, buckle up your shoes. Buckle your belt and get ready to ride with me in this very program. Okay. So before I continue, how many of us are already into data, into IT? Let me start with that. How many of you have done a training on IT? It could be on data analytics, it could be on data engineering, it could be on data science. Please, I need a 1 or a thumbs up, right? A 1 or a thumbs up if you have done any training on data or on IT. I can't see any reaction yet. Please confirm if you can hear me. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Ola, thank you very much. Ola gave me a thumbs up. Is it only Ola that have done something on IT? Okay, if you've done something on IT, a 1. If you haven't, a 0 or a thumbs down. Okay, a thumbs up if you've done something on IT, or a thumbs down if you've not done anything on IT. Okay, guys, I'm waiting for a reaction, please. Okay, thank you very much, Olufemi. Thank you, Rufai. Awesome. Okay, thank you, Frank. Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Okay, so today we are going to be talking on, when you hear the word data. Today we are going to be talking about how does this data thing make sense, right? How does it even make sense? How does it even work in a company? Okay, so that's what we are going to be driving at today. That's what we are going to be delving into, and we are going to be talking more about it. And you're going to see how this whole thing comes to play. Okay, so moving on. A little bit about myself, okay, an introduction about the person that you are hearing her voice. Okay, I already told you my name, and I said my name is Chinyere, or I go by the name Chichi. Okay, I have been in the data field for the past 5 years. I'm currently the data lead at Amdari. Okay, and I've worked with fintech and healthcare organizations where we use this data now to make sense. Okay, where we use data, where we convert data into meaningful information so that the stakeholder and the company can use it to make sense at the end of the whole thing, right? Can make meaningful decision out of what we're able to drive or what we're able to get. Okay, so that is just me in a nutshell. All right. I've been in the data field. Like I said, I've been in the data field for the past 5 years. All right, and I'm currently working as the data team lead at Amdari. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing with you for this couple of minutes that we're going to be here. I'm going to be sharing with you on how to use data to derive growth at the end. Okay, on how to use this noise, you know, data, we say that data is a noise out there. Until you work on it, it begins to make sense. So I'm going to be walking you guys through on how this things comes to play. Okay, so guys, welcome once again, and let's get into this. So what are we going to be doing today? All right, what are we going to be doing today? We are going to be understanding what business intelligence is all about. Okay, we are going to be understanding what business intelligence is all about. We are also going to be talking about the implementation, that is the framework, how this thing comes to play, from the collection of data to the strategic impact, from the collection of this noise out there, work on it and make it make sense at the end. Okay, so we are going to be seeing all these things play out here and now. Okay, so now guys, like I told you guys, my session is always interactive. Okay, so I'm going to be asking questions, I'm going to be calling names. Please, I'm not expecting a perfect response, so feel free. All right, I don't have dumb answers, and neither do I have dumb questions in my session. Every question is valid and every answer is valid. Okay, so guys, now moving forward, picture this. All right, let's create a picture in our head of a company that has terabytes of customer data. Okay, but there is something going on at the end. Okay, they have the sales record, they have the market trends record and everything, but their executives are still making gut-based decision. They are not making decision using the data that they are working with or that they're generating. Now, guys, tell me, how do you think this company is going to span out? How do you think their progress will be like? Yes, 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 yes. I need someone to contribute. Just picture this. How do you think the company is going to be like? Or what do you think the company is going to be like? How do you think the company is going to work?
Most times they will be making wrong decisions because they are not really making use of the informations they have.
Absolutely perfect. Absolutely correct. Right? They'll just be making decisions based on, okay, I guess, right? And believe you me, the outcome is not always fantastic. Okay, thank you very much, Elephant, for that contribution. I still need one more person. What do you think will be the outcome of a gut-based decision? I need someone else. Should I go ahead and call name? Okay, Larry. Larry, you're my friend today. Sorry, not like every other person.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you think What do you think will be the outcome of a gut-based decision?
So when you make decisions that are critical based on your emotions, the likelihood of failure is very high because you're not working based on facts or evidence available to you. Emotions fail us.
Hmm. You are making decision based on emotions, right? The decision is being made based on emotion, and believe you me, decisions made based on emotions, they are not always fantastic. It always backfires, right? There is always a sad story at the end of it. So now we've pictured this. We've seen how it expands. It is not always good. It is not always, the outcome is not always fantastic. So what are we going? What is the essence of data? Right? What is the essence of this data that you are getting? And that is what will take us to our next topic, which is what is business intelligence? How are we going to use this data now to make sense? How are we going to use this data to make the right decision? Okay, so what is business intelligence? What is business intelligence? Can somebody, without looking at our screen, can somebody tell me, when you hear the word business intelligence, what comes to your mind? Just in a very simple phrase or term. What comes to your mind when you hear the word business intelligence? Should I go ahead and call the name?
I think it has. Okay, sorry.
No. Please go ahead. Go ahead. I love
Okay, I
this.
think
Please go ahead.
business intelligence has to do with making use of all available resources that will aid the business to succeed.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Olufemi. That's it, right? You are using the things available to make the right decision that will aid the company. Now, in this case, we are using data. Okay, you are using what? Data to make that decision. This is no longer a gut-based decision. Okay, this is no longer a what? A gut-based decision, but rather you are working with data. Now, remember that the first example that I gave. I said, okay, picture this. You have company running, but you're making this decision. You are making decision based on guesswork. Now, in this case, you are now making decision based on data. Now, remember that if you remember what I said initially, I said data is just like a noise out there. Okay, it's like a noise. It's everywhere. It doesn't make sense when you are looking at it. Then looking at it doesn't make sense. But in order for it to make sense, there is going to be some procedure. Or there are going to be some that will take place. Okay, there are things that needs to be done to that very data so that it will make sense. Are we together, guys? Are we together? I need your reaction if you are still with me, please. Awesome. Thank you very much, Olufemi. It's only Olufemi that is reacting. Okay. Thank you, Ola. Awesome. So that is it. That is what business intelligence helps you to do. In this case, business intelligence will take you through the process of what the data needs to go through. Okay, what you need to do with the data, how you are going to be getting the data, what the data is going to pass through in order for it to come out perfect, in order for you to be able to make use of it at the end. Okay, guys, so that is the help of business intelligence. I'm just trying to explain what is here. All right, my guy by side is saying that data is the key to growth, right? When the stakeholders make decisions based on what they were able to derive from the data, you see that the company will grow. It is no longer based on bots. It is now based on data. Okay? So we see that business intelligence is the set of tools, technology, methods that a company uses to analyze, gather, analyze, and display their business data. The tools that they are going to use to get this data. Okay? Remember, who is going to use the tools? Is the data team. Where I'm going somewhere, guys. Please follow me. Okay? Get this data, analyze the data, and use it to make sense. All right? Use it to answer business questions. That's basically it's making sense. If it is not answering business question, then it's not making sense. Right, guys? Please, if you agree with me, I need a thumbs up. If your data is not answering your business question, is it making sense? Of course not. It's not making sense. So it needs to answer your business question for it to make sense. And the procedure or the process or the going through of all the things is called business intelligence. Okay, guys, it is the business intelligence. So basically, business intelligence means turning raw data into information. Turning raw data into what? Information. Relax, guys. You're going to see the process. I'm going to show you guys the process. Okay. I mean, coming from some of the data profession, I mean, some of the data associates that we are going to see now. Okay. So moving forward or moving on, the role of data in the context of business intelligence. The role of what? Data. Remember, I said that it has to do with data this time around. Okay? It has to do with data. This is not gut-based, but rather data. So we say that we need to first of all understand the business. You need to understand the business. Okay? You need to do what? Understand the business. What is this business into? What do they want to answer? What are the questions that we need to answer? Why are we doing this very project? Or why are we doing this very work? Why are we doing this? So you need to understand the business. I am not working based on what Chichi wants. We are not going to be working based on what Olufemi wants or what Lanre wants. No, but rather we are going to be working based on what the business wants. Okay? Based on the questions that we want to use our data to answer for the business, for the company. Okay, guys? So, let's now still going back to the company that I gave instance of initially. This time around, they want to use data to make their decision. Okay? They want to use data to make their decision. No longer got based. Okay? So now the first question is, why are their sales declining? These are the questions that they might ask or that may come up that we need to answer. Okay? What can we do to attract more customers to our platform? So these are the questions. And how are we going to answer this? We are going to answer this by using what? Data. Okay? So we need to gather insights on the products, the categories, and the experience. Okay? We need to understand all these things. We need to gather information about these things. Remember, you have already set up data that's picking up all these things, right? Remember, I said something about noise. That data out there are what? Noise. Until you put them together to make sense. That is when it becomes useful to you. All right. So we need to understand the business question. We need to understand what we are told. Next thing, understand your data. Where are we getting this data from? Where are we going to source this data that is going to answer those questions that I asked initially? Okay. Now, it could be that our data is in Google form. It could be that it is in Power Automate. I mean, we are going to be getting this data from Power Automate. It could be in the Google Cloud Storage. It could be from SharePoint. It could be from OneDrive. Okay? It could be from different microservices. That is talking about our data source. All right? Talking about our data source. Where are we getting this data from? Remember, we've already jotted down our question. What we want to use that data to answer. Okay? So, we've understood the data. Now, the next thing is the data preparation. If you remember when we were defining what business intelligence is, we said these are the tools, the technologies, and the methodologies that you're going to use to get the data and transform it and analyze it so that it will make sense, so that it can be used for right decision making. Okay? So it can be used for what? Right decision making. Remember that, right? And I said we have different data professionals. We have the data engineers, we have the data analysts, we have the data scientists, we have the data engineer. I've already made mention of them. All these people, depending on the company, right? All these people are going to be working on this data. They are going to handle this data with their tools. Now, let's say for a data engineer, no worries, you are still going to see this process. I'm still going to show you guys in detail how these guys comes together. But just try to summarize it so that we understand what business intelligence does with our data. Okay, so this data now, we've gotten it where the data is coming from, wherever it is that the data is located. We've gotten our source, we've gotten our data. Now, the next thing is that we need to prepare this data, right? If it is for data analysts, data engineers, data scientists, they need to prepare the data. They need to clean it. They need to transform it. Okay? Remember, I told you that every data is a noise out there until it passes through the process, until it passes through that business intelligence ideology before we can be able to use it to make what makes sense at the end of it for the right decision making. Okay, guys? So now that we now talk about the data preparation, talk about the cleaning of the data, the handling of missing values, the extraction of what we want. Out of this numerous data out there, out of this numerous noise coming in, we now see bits. Okay? You're not going to what? See bits to bring out the one that you're going to use to make your decision. Remember, based on what? The company's words, not Chichi's words, not Olufemi's need, not Lanre's need, but rather the company's words needs. All right? So, moving on. We now talk about data modeling. Okay? You now talk about the data modeling. You now model it. Probably you now have your maths, you now have your aggregation, you now have your time series. You now do your analysis basically. Okay? You now model the data. You now make it fit, mold it into what can be used for decision making. All right. So next one is now to validate it. Okay? You review all this process now that you've gone through, starting from when you extracted data to when you modeled it. You validate it. Is it answering the question that the company needs? Is it making sense? Is it what we want? Is it what the company needs? Is this going to help us make a better decision? Is this what's going to tell us that, okay, during the fantastic season that you guys are in now, my UK friends, are we going to sell more of sweatshirts or more of sleeveless? Okay, I'm just giving an instance. Now, what else now? Is it a good time to sell an umbrella? Okay, is this a good time to sell umbrella? Now, for the guys in US, is this a good time to sell turkey? Okay, is this a good time to sell turkey or to sell chicken? So those are the questions that our data will help us to answer. based on the historical information that our data were able to store for us. Guys, are we still here? Are we still together? Are we still together? Guys, I need your response. I need a thumbs up. If you're still with me, if it is making sense, if you are following. Awesome, 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 awesome. All right. So that is how you validate it. If it is answering the question, then fantastic. You tap yourself at the back and be like, yes, Olufemi, you've done a great job as a data analyst. Lanre, you've done a good job as a data engineer. Chichi, you've done a fantastic work as a data scientist. That is when you can congratulate yourself. Okay? Now the next one will now be deployments. The next one will be what? The deployments. So we've gone through all the things. You now present your output to the stakeholders. You show them what you have gotten so far. Show them what you've done. This is the outcome of the data. See those noise out there. We're able to extract this sense out of it. This is what our data is showing. It is showing high sales of turkey during November, ending of November. There is high sales of turkey. Okay, so those are the things that our data will be showing us, and from there, our stakeholders can now make a meaningful decision. Okay, they can now make a meaningful decision. So this is how business intelligence comes to play. Okay, this is how business intelligence comes to play in the context of, this is how data comes into play in the context of business intelligence. This is how business intelligence helps us to make sense using data. Are we good, guys? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? In terms of if you are good, if you still need, if it is not yet clear, I need a thumbs down. All right. I'm here for you guys. All right. Awesome. 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 Okay. So moving on. All right. Moving on. We have somebody. We have an intern. So I'm going to quickly play video. You see this thing that I just spoke about, this business intelligence, how they were able to use it to make sense, how they were able to use a noise-full data to make a meaningful information or decision. So we have Jerry. Okay, Jerry was our intern. All right, Jerry was our intern. He interned with us. And as I'm speaking with you, Jerry is currently working. Okay, Jerry is currently working. And what brought this up? This came up as a result of what Amdari does. Okay, guys, this came up as a result of what Amdari does. And what does Amdari do? What does Amdari do? What Amdari does is to reach that knowledge that you've already gotten on any of the IT field that you've done in your training. It could be self-paced. I'm sorry, it could be self-taught. It could be self-taught. It could be training that you attended trainings, right? It could be any of them. Now, you know how to use some of the tools in data analytics. You know how to use some of the tools in data engineering. You know how to use some of the tools in data science. You know how to use them. Fantastic. Okay? But when you go out for an interview, what the recruiter will ask you is, how many years experience do you have? Guys, if you are with me, please, I need a thumbs up. Have you ever been to an interview and what the interviewer is asking you is, how many years of experience you have? Fantastic. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Femi. Exactly. That's what they will ask you. They are not going to ask you, you know how to use Excel? Of course, they will ask you, but what they are going to ask is, can you tell me how you used Excel? This is basically asking you, can you tell me your experience using Excel? Okay, and that is what Amdari is solving. That is the problem that Amdari is trying to solve here in the. Okay, it's now global. I don't want to use Africa because we have different people. We have Asians. We have like it's global now. Okay, so what does Amdari do? Amdari bridges the gap between the knowledge that you've gotten and the experience that you need. Okay, they bridge that gap. When you come to intern with us, we'll show you those practical aspects, real business projects. That is what you're going to be working on to gain those experience that you need to stand out when you are being interviewed. Okay, so now when Jerry joined us, Jerry, I would say he knows no, I mean like he knows nothing when it comes to data analytics. I'm still going to briefly play his video. I'm just going to share just a few parts. Though the link is there and it's in our website, in our sorry, YouTube. You always see his testimonial there. Okay. Jerry did what? He interned with us. And while he was interning with us, we were able to help him to tailor his CV. Okay. Jerry was able to express what I just explained earlier on about business intelligence. Remember, every company is bringing you in to help them solve a problem and not to cause a problem for them. So when you are being interviewed, they want you to speak with certainty that you know how to do all the things. Okay? That you know how to do all the things. And that is what Jerry was able to present to them. He was able to tell them that I know how to use all the tools as a data analyst. I know how to use my Excel. I know how to use my Power BI. And he showed them how to do all these things. He didn't just tell them that he knows how to use them, but rather he showed them how to how to use it as well. Okay, guys, it's different when you are explaining something based on I read it. There is a huge difference when you are explaining something based on I read it and have used it. And when someone that have used something is explaining something to you, you will see the difference. And that is what we ensure that our interns are equipped with. Okay? And that is what Jerry was able to express. That is what Jerry was able to do. And he landed his job currently as we are speaking now. Okay, Jerry is currently working with a renowned UK company, a company in the UK. Okay, so what did we do for Jerry? We helped him to tailor his CV as a data analyst. All right, and he joined all the mentorship session. Now, when you join us, when you start interning with us, guys, we don't call you interns, no, but rather we call you consultants. Okay, when you start consulting with us, remember we said that what you are working with are real business projects. That's what you're going to be working on. So that means that you can actually fit in any company that you go to, that you're going into tomorrow. Okay, so we ensure that Jerry attended all the mentorship sessions. These mentorship sessions holds every Thursday. No worries, I'm still going to talk more about them later on. Okay? He attended all the mentorship sessions. He got prepped for multiple interviews. For the multiple interviews, like after optimizing his LinkedIn, helping him to revamp his CV, what we are now rushing Jerry. And he got multiple offers and now went for the best. Okay, so I'm still going to show you guys all that. Let's quickly play just a short clip from his interview. Just a moment.
Data
Please, can you
analysis.
confirm if you can
And
hear?
before
Can you
joining,
hear
I would
him?
say that I had a passion and some skills,
Is it
but
audible?
I needed
All right.
something more, something way beyond just having the skills. I needed to have the real world industry experience. And this is what I got at Andari. I was able to work on actual projects that made a difference when it comes to the business world. But then I had the chance to work with cross-functional teams. And at the time, I was even able to, I was asked to lead a team, which I did. And then this helped me when it comes to, managing people, instilled in me confidence in managing projects end to end. And when it comes to delivering insight that make an impact. And this program had exposed me to variety of tools used in industry, Excel, Power BI, Tableau, SQL. And then I was able to apply all these tools to solve real world problems. And this gave me the experience employers are looking for. And I could say that these are the things that I use when it comes to applying for jobs. And also when it comes to
All right, guys. So I don't want to continue playing it because it's going to take our time, okay? But you can see his experience. You can see what he said, right? He was able to use all those tools. He made mention of them, the Excel, the Power BI. He was able to use them to solve real world problems. Okay, he was able to use it to solve what real world problem. Remember, we are talking about business intelligence. Okay, guys. So moving on, just a moment. I need to share this guy again. Okay, so we've just heard from Terry. We've heard his words from his own mouth, not from me now this time around, but rather from him. He was able to express himself. That's the bottom line. He was able to do what? To express himself. And reason why he was able to express himself was because he had experience working with those tools, trying to solve real business problems. Okay, that was what made him what outstanding. So moving on. That is it from Jerry. Okay, guys, are we still here? Are we still here? I need a thumbs up if you are still here with me. I need a thumbs up. I need a thumbs up. All right. Thank you very much, Rufai. Thank you, Ufemi. Thank you, Manuel and Ola. Awesome, awesome. So, in the month of June, Jerry landed his his role as a data analyst. Okay. And he's actually working currently, like I said earlier on, as a remote worker. Okay. As a data analyst. So, this could actually be you. This can be you. All right. It can be you. There is nothing stopping you. There is nothing holding you. So, moving on, before I digress, all right, before I move out. So let's continue. We are still talking about business intelligence. We are still talking about business intelligence. Now, Jerry did what he did and was able to get his job. Was able to get his job as a data analyst, understanding the need of data using the business intelligence context. Okay, so now let's take a peek into business intelligence within a data associate. So this is a project that was done by our consultants. Okay, this was a project that they did. Okay, and just a moment, this guy is blocking me. Okay, so now the BI implementation framework, from the raw data to strategic impact. Remember, I briefly explained how this whole thing works, right? But this time around, we are going to see in details how they work. All right? How the data analyst comes in, how the data engineers also comes in. If time permits us, I'm going to play just a little bit of video because after each project, our consultants will do their presentation to the stakeholders. Okay, so if time permits us, I'm going to play a little bit of the recording. Okay, so but then let's deep dive into the framework of business intelligence implementation. How does it work? All right, from the data collection to strategic impact. Now, what did our consultants try to do in this project? What they did was to help save a dying company, okay, an e-commerce company, by using data-driven insights. Remember, this is not gut-based insights, but rather data-driven insights. And the first question I asked, we all gave wonderful responses, and we're like, definitely the company is going to collapse. So initially, this company was suffering from doing their analysis based on based on guesswork. But our data engineers has to jump in, our data analyst has to jump in to save the day. All right, so the title of this project is Migrating an On-Prem Postgres Transactional Data to the Cloud. They want to move data that is on-prem. When we say on-prem, we are talking about on-premises. Okay? It is not in the cloud. It is not like your AWS or your GCP or your Azure and all that. It's not there. Okay, this is on-prem. It is being managed physically. Okay, so the company wants to migrate their data from this on-prem to the cloud so that they can be able to have access to their data easily and quickly. And not just only that, there won't be bottleneck when other data teams are trying to connect to their data. Okay, to do their works. There won't be bottleneck. It won't be a problem. It won't be an issue. There is somewhere bigger. Okay, it's just like someone saving. You want to transfer your water. The water was inside a cup like this. It's my cup. You want to transfer this water now that's inside this cup into. You see that this cup is small, and it is not everybody that can easily grasp it at the same time. It is not everybody that can hold it at the same time. Now we want to take it to a bigger container. Okay, want to take it to what? Want to take the water inside this my small cup into a bigger container so that other people can take water from it at the same time. Does it make sense, guys? Does it make sense? That's just the transaction. I mean, that's the transfer. Please, if it makes sense, I need a reaction. Does it make sense? All right, awesome. So that's what this project is all about. So that there won't be bottlenecks, so that there won't be hold-ups on the way. Okay? We want to migrate an on-prem Postgres transaction data to the cloud using our Airflow, and the cloud storage that we want to use is S3 buckets. Okay? And the one that we are going to use for, then we'll now also connect it to Athena. Okay? So, what is the problem? I know I just briefly talked about the problem, right? But here is it. This is my fine Bobo, right? He went to buy the thing. He's done buying the thing. But there is a problem. Sometimes our customer abandons their carts. We don't seem to see what the problem is because there is no way we were able to get the data quickly. Remember the bottleneck thing that I was talking about? That was an issue. Also, there is an increased cost in operation. Trying to maintain that on-prem Postgres isn't easy or wasn't easy. Okay, so we need to take it to the cloud. so that the cloud can help us to manage it. All right. And then another thing is the lack of real-time insight. We need to see what is happening. We need to be able to get our information, our data, as soon as possible. Okay, so what the manager do here, the CEO had to call his data guys. They now had to employ the data team. Okay, data team, this is the problem we are having. We need you to help us solve this. Okay, we need you to help us do what? To solve this issue. And our data guys are like, no problem. People like Jerry were like, say no more. We got you. Okay, say no more. We got you. All right, so they were able to jump into this very project. First, remember our part, right? Remember our pattern, what I explained earlier. We need to understand the business. This is not talking about what Chichi wants. No. It is not talking about what Olufemi wants. No. It is not talking about what Manuel wants, but rather what does the company want? What are we trying to solve? What is the problem? Okay. And we now said that maintaining the Postgres on cloud is, on-prem is costly. Sometimes our customer, we need to see what is going on with them. And also the stakeholder wants to get information on what is going on as soon as possible. Okay, they want to get information as soon as possible. So that is us understanding the projects, understanding the business. Now the next thing is, how are we going to get this data? What are the things that we need to put into action to get this data? Remember, I said that this data is located where? It's located on-prem in a Postgres database. So how are they going to get it? The data engineers, what they did was to get this data, because what was provided to them was a dump file, an SQL dump file. The dump file data was what was provided to them. So they need to restore the dump file. Okay, they need to what? Restore the dump file. And where they orchestrated it, they don't use Airflow for their orchestrations. Okay, they need to restore the dump file, and after restoring it, they will now send it to the cloud. Restore the dump file, send it to the cloud. Okay, restore the dump file where? Send it to the cloud. This dump file, they are restoring it on-prem. Okay, like I told you guys, they wouldn't have access to the Postgres directly because this is real company's property. So in order to not to breach any contract, right? Not to breach any contract, we had to provide them with a dump file. Okay, we have to provide them with a dump file. So they need to restore the dump file in their Postgres, in their local Postgres. Okay, so from this local Postgres, which assumes the growth of on-premise Postgres data. Guys, so Postgres is basically a data storage, all right, but it's for structured data storage. Okay, so they need to restore this data on their Postgres. Every data analyst or data engineer will always have Postgres in their system. Okay, so it is one of the tools, the business intelligence tools. Remember, I told you that we are going to, the business intelligence has to do with the tools that you're going to use to analyze, to collect, to analyze, and now to visualize the data, right? So Postgres is one of the tools. Okay, so we restore this data, we restore the dump file in Postgres and load the data. Now transload this data or take it to the cloud. That is the S3 bucket. Okay, that is the S3 bucket. And from the S3 bucket, we can now connect to Athena. Okay, so this is where our data is going to be located. This is where we want to keep our data. This is where any other person can get this data from. All right, so that is it, the data collection and integration. Okay, so we are integrating We are getting all this data and we are loading it into where S3 bucket. Are we together, guys? Are we still together? Is it complicated now? Is it making sense? All right, thank you very much. So S3 bucket is where we want to load our data. That's the cloud that we're talking about. That's where we want to load our data. So we are sending it there. That is for the data collection and integration. Now, the next thing is the transformation. Okay, the next thing is the transformation and loading. So this data that is coming from S3 bucket, the data engineers are going to are going to change that data to a package file. Okay, we have a package word file. This thing here, PARQUET, that's a package file for the data engineers. Okay, they are going to take it to, they are going to load it as a package file. So when you go to that S3 bucket, what you're going to see there is a package file, not a CSV file, not an Excel file. Okay, so once it is there, this is us transforming it. They transformed it. Maybe if there are data types that needs to be defined, they will go ahead and define it. Okay, if there are other things that they need to put together, they'll go ahead and do that and now load it into what? S3 bucket. The raw stage. Okay, we have the raw stage or the bronze. Now, what our data engineers did was to create 3 folders. One, the bronze. Now, I don't know how many of you have heard of Medallion Architecture. Have you heard of Medallion Architecture before? Please, I need a thumbs up if you've heard of Medallion Architecture. Okay, Ola. All right, fantastic. Where are my sports guys? Okay, Mark said yes. Okay, my sports guys. You know when they are giving medals, we have the bronze, we have the silver, and we have the gold, correct? Awesome. So it's only Mark. Okay, thank you very much, Allah. So now that's Medallion Architecture. The bronze, the silver, and the gold. And remember that the highest, the person with the highest points kind of gets the gold. Is that correct? We regard beautiful. We regard bronze to be the least of it when it comes to the category. So now the bronze is where the raw data is going into. No transformation has been done apart from changing it to a package file. Okay, so the raw data was being loaded to the bronze layer. Okay, after sending it to the bronze layer, a little bit of it, transformation was done using their Python code. Okay, was done using their Python code. After doing the transformation, it was now loaded into the silver layer. Okay, it was now loaded into what? The silver layer. Maybe in this case now, in this part now, they might decide to mask some of their customers' phone number because we don't want our data analysts to see every information about our customer, right? We need to safeguard some of the information. We don't need to expose our customers' information so that you don't breach your contract, you know. I'm talking about the HIPAA and all that, all those laws. Okay, data confidentialities, data governance, and all that. So now in this silver, that's where you can do some of the masking. That is where you can remove some of the columns and be like, no, we don't need to expose this. We don't need to put in this. We don't need to put in that. And also in this silver, this is where you also tend to answer some of the business questions. This is where you now be like, okay, these are the major columns that they need. So we can go ahead and bring them out and send it to the what? To the silver layer. Okay, guys. After the silver layer, we now have the gold layer. Remember your Medallion Architecture. Remember when they are giving you those prizes. They'll give the bronze, they'll give the silver, then they will now give the gold. And the gold man, the platform for the gold guy is always higher. Like it's always longer, right? So yes, that's like the preferences. Okay. So now in this gold layer, this is where you now do your aggregation, you now do most of the transformation. Okay, you probably do your data transformation, do your data cleaning, do a whole lot of things. That is where that's the kind of data you get in your gold layer. Okay, guys. So, like I said, you see your oriented questions are being answered in the gold layer. Okay, that's where you create your parts. Like the finance, you have their own data for them. The finance, the HR, they now have their own different data where each of the departments can connect to easily. You see that they are not connecting to the gold, guys. They are not connecting to the gold. Sorry, they are not connecting to the bronze. Okay, bronze layer is always confidential. It's mostly your data engineers that usually have access to the bronze layer. Okay, now for the gold is the one that they can leave for everybody, for the data analysts and all that. Remember the the problem we are trying to solve, so that every other team can have access to the data easily. So in this case now, when this data is in the gold layer, is in the cloud, every data associate can easily connect to the gold layer or to the silver layer. All right, maybe the data scientists might be like, okay, we want to work with not too clean data, so they can connect to the silver layer and do their machine learning and all that. Okay, guys, are we still together? Am I still communicating? Awesome. So that is where our data transformation and loading takes place. Okay, so now the next thing is the data modeling. Okay, like I said, I think I actually talked about the data modeling when I was explaining the gold layer storage. Okay, we now do aggregation. We now create database on specific departments. We now answer business questions. Okay, we now answer business questions. Our data analysts can now connect to the gold layer and do their visualizations. Okay, now the next one is the system automation, the validation part, right? The automation and system monitoring. Now, I am able to see my data here manually. What comes up next as a data engineer? You start thinking about, how do I automate this task? I don't have to be, okay, every 1 o'clock, I'll come and tap on my keyboard so that task will run. No. I need to set up an automation that will take care of that. And this is where my airflow comes in. Okay, this is where my airflow comes in. All right. So after the airflow, I now use airflow to orchestrate all this whole task that I talked about. Getting the data from the on-prem, that's getting the data from my Postgres, transforming it, loading it into S3, and all that. Okay, I'll now use airflow to orchestrate this task. Okay, now also the monitoring part. I'll also set up monitors to ensure that if there is any failure or anything, I'll get a beep. I'll get a notification that there is a failure or there is something going on. Okay, so that is the next thing that comes in. After that, we will now talk about the deployment part. We are able to do all these things. My data analyst can now connect to my gold and they can now do their visualization. They are able to, in this case now, remember that we said that we want to solve problems. And what are the problems? One, the data for other data things to connect easily to the storage. That has been achieved. So you just go to your checkbox and check it. The second one is that our data analysts can now provide information. They can now provide a comprehensive monthly reports easily. You now go ahead and check your box. That has been achieved, right? Now, the final one, which is the major one, was that our data is no longer on-prem, but rather is in the cloud. You go ahead and do what? And check that box. So, guys, did our data help us to solve our problem or not? I need a thumbs up or thumbs down. If you think it solved it, you give me a thumbs up. you think what we just did now was able to solve our problem? Okay, I'm not seeing any thoughts of all right. Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you, Femi. So this is how we're able to use data to solve our problem. We're able to use our data to now create a monthly comprehensive report. We are able to see from that report now, we can tell, okay, this is the reason why our customers are abandoning their carts. This is the reason why what is going on is going on. This is the reason why we need to stock up our sales. Okay, during the month of November, there is always a high sales of turkey, and then all those information we can easily see there using the data. Remember the noise. Remember that noise that we're talking about, right? We're able to use our data to validate our information. We're able to use it to validate and also make a meaningful decision. Okay, guys, if you're still here with me, go ahead and celebrate yourself because you've learned something. I don't know, but I want to believe you actually learned something. If you did, go ahead and clap for yourself. All right. Thank you, guys. So, I mean, this is all the things that I just said. This is it in a drawing. Okay, this is it in a drawing. The on-prem Postgres, we extracted our data, we loaded it to S3 buckets. The bronze, that's the raw data, right? We did our transformation, we sent it to the silver. We did more transformation, we sent it to the gold. Okay, now it was being loaded into Athena. Okay, so from this Athena, our data analysts can now run their visualization. That's it. Okay, that is it. That is how data was able to, the process which this data went through for it to make sense at the end. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it was on-prem. This is what it looks like when it was on-prem. And when we now loaded it into the cloud, this is what it looks like. So everybody can easily connect to this guy here and do their magic. Okay, we don't have to, we won't be getting information about, oh, I'm unable to connect to the Postgres, my system was hanging, it was taking 35 minute hours for it to run and stuff like that. No longer hear such complaints. Okay, so this is where the Airflow did its own work. Okay, all these things that I'm showing you guys, I got it from my consultants, from our consultants. This is their work. Okay, this is their work. Okay, so this is the Airflow part where the Airflow was doing the orchestration. You can see the green parts, right? You can see the green parts. The green means that it went well. So we use the Airflow to orchestrate our data. We use it to automate our task. We don't have to always come by 1 a.m. to tap on our keyboard for it to run. No, when it gets to that time, Airflow will orchestrate the task and everything will run automatically. Okay, so this is what the data looks like. Remember where we are coming from. This is what our data looks like. This is what our Parquet file data looks like. This is where our data analysts are going to be connecting to run their stuff, to create their visualization, to create meaningful dashboards that the company is going to make use of. And finally, guys, this is the dashboard. I was thinking you guys are going to show some celebration, some excitement. I mean, coming from where it is like, what it looks like, and this is what you're able to get at the end. This is what Jerry was able to show there. And believe me, if it were to be you, wouldn't you want to employ somebody that was able to take you through all these things that I just said now? Please unmute yourself and speak. Can you guys still hear me? All right. So this is what Jerry was able to explain today. This is what Jerry was able to show today. Okay, he spoke with confidence. he spoke with confidence. He was able to tell them that, okay, this is what we did. This is what the data engineers did. Now, if you remembered, we said we collaborated with other data associates, right? So they collaborated with data engineers. The data engineers got data where they got the data from, okay, which is the on-prem, made the data available for them in the cloud. People like the data analysts, which Jerry falls under, connected to the cloud and now run their visualization. Okay, did their transformation, did their data cleaning. They used their Power BI to do their stuff. Okay, and create this very beautiful dashboard that you are looking at. So these are the things that we equip our interns with. All right, and this is how business intelligence was able to help us actualize what our company can use so that they will survive the fall. Okay, so guys, before I move on, do we have any question before I move on to the testimonial parts? Do you have any question on what business intelligence does for you, how data helps you to make meaningful decisions, and all that? Do you have any question? All right. Okay. I'm not seeing any hand. That means we are all good. Okay. So moving on, these are the some of our consultants. We're going to be meeting some of our consultants that got their job, even while still interning with us. While some got their jobs after they finished interning with us. Okay, after they finished interning with us. But they were able to stand out because of the experience that they got while they were still with us. So now I have someone like Ade. Okay, I have someone like Ade. Ade was he had no knowledge, prior knowledge on computer. I mean, he had no background on IT. Okay, though he took some few courses on data engineering, right? He took some few courses on data engineering. Now, and he came to join us, right? He came to join us. He joined Amdari, and these are the things that he was able to get. Actually, I started as a specialist, right? Before I became the team lead. And Ade happens to be one of my interns. Ade happens to be one of my interns, right? I helped him, I prepped him during interviews. And this was the feedback that we got in one of these interviews. Okay, I had an interview today, the session really helped me. Now, during the interview process, we ensure we give them that confidence that they need to stand out. Okay, moving on, we have Jennifer. I mean, we have Olusegun. Olusegun also got a job as a data analyst. Okay, you can see this, you can see it. No worries, this slide will be shared with you later on. Please just go ahead, make sure you fill the form that our Amdari growth dropped in the charts. Okay, so that we can be able to share this with you after the session. Okay, so that you can go through all these things on your own. And if you have any question or you want to book any session, no, it's not just for only data analysts. We have data engineers, we have data scientists, we have cyber security, we have pen testing, we have ethical hackings, we have project management, we have business analysts. Okay, so but basically I'm majoring on data because that is where we are coming from. All right, problem. Okay, so this is also Dami. Dami also got a job as a data scientist. Okay, Dami also got a job, and these are because I mean he was able to do all these things. Sorry, as a data analyst, she was able to do all these things because of he was able to do all these things because of the experience that he got while still interning with us. Guys, these people, They're still interning with us before they got the job. All right, while they got the job. So we have Adedosun. She also got the job while still interning with us. Okay. Now, remember, this is not just about you interning. It's about you doing the necessary things that you need to do. You need to put in the effort. Okay. And these guys that I just showed you put in that extra effort. And that's why they are where they are today. Okay. So we have a lot of them. We have a lot of them. We have a lot of them. We have so many of them. And I do want to put all of them here so that we don't get bored. But if you want to read more about us, please feel free to visit our website. Okay, feel free to visit our YouTube, Amdari YouTube. All right, you see our testimonial there. You see a whole lot of things about Amdari there. Okay, so now the next question you're going to ask yourself is this, right? I've gotten this experience. What next? I've done the training. I've did my training as a data analyst and all that, but you don't have that experience that you need to differentiate you from every other person. Remember when I started, I said the first thing that a recruiter will ask you is, have you used this? Not do you know this? Not do you know Excel? Do you know SQL? They won't ask you that. They will ask you rate yourself. Then they will now go ahead and ask you questions on any of those tools. And the kind of question that they're going to ask you is, tell me about a time you used it. Now, if you do not have that confidence to tell them about a time you used it, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And what recruiters want is someone that can confidently tell them that they've used it, show them that they've used it. Okay? And that is the problem. We have 1,001 persons out there searching for job. Now, the next thing is, how do you make yourself exceptional? The recruiters are going for the exceptional ones. So how do you make yourself exceptional? That's the first question. And that will take us to Chichi, where and how do I gain this work experience? I've done this training. I've done my self-taught training. I joined Analytics for my training. I did self-taught. I used YouTube to learn. They are fantastic. They are wonderful. Now, the next thing is, how do I gain the work experience that recruiters need? That is, you gain this experience by joining the Amdari. Okay? You gain this experience by joining Amdari, where your career rebrand, which is a career rebrand platform. What do we do at Amdari? What do we do at Amdari? First, we'll give you that experience that recruiters need. Okay? We'll give you that experience that recruiters need, for sure. And it is 100% remote. You're working from wherever you're working from, wherever you are. Okay? At the time also, we'll try to work with you. That's one. Two, you have a platform where maybe you've done the training, but you've forgotten one or two things. You can always go back and do a crash course there. Okay? Also, another thing is that we have the package. There are things that comes with you interning with Amdari. Remember when I was talking about Jerry, I said that he got CV revamped. So those are the things that you're going to be experiencing here at Amdari. We'll show you, we'll teach you, not just help you to do that, no, but rather we'll teach you and show you how to revamp your CV to suit every job that you are applying for. Okay? The CV revamp and review, your LinkedIn optimization. We so much believe in selling in the public. So we'll help you to revamp your CV. Sorry, your LinkedIn. We'll optimize it. We'll show you how to optimize your LinkedIn. your LinkedIn profile. Now, also, we have mentorship session that holds every Thursday. Okay, we have mentorship session that holds every Thursday. Guys, it is very, very, very rich. Like when I say very, very rich, I mean like times 10 of the very, very. It is very, very impactful. So we have this a mentorship session where we invite professionals to come and speak to our interns. These are the things, the packages that comes with you interning with us. All right. We have job reference. Now you get a 2 years job reference later from Amdari. Okay, as an intern with us, you get a 2 years job reference from Amdari. Also, you get the on the job support. Now you've gotten this job, worked to get the job. You've gotten this job. What next? We know that there's going to be some struggle at the initial stage. This is where our specialist also comes in. They come in to assist you. All right. Maybe if you're having any question or if you're having some difficulties, you can always ask them and they will assist you. Okay. So that is one of the packages. Another thing is how to apply for this job. We have a job board in our website. We have a website, Amdari website. Okay. We have Amdari website where when you register with us, we'll give you full access to the website. You see the job job board where you apply for jobs. Okay. We also have the portfolio. We also have a whole lot of things that is going on there, guys. Okay. So you have a whole lot of things to enjoy when you enroll with Amdari. Okay. So moving on. Now we have the employability skills. I just made mention of them. Under the packages, we have the CV review and revamp. We have the LinkedIn optimization. We have the navigating the job market. That's talking about the mentorship sessions where there are a lot of topics that are being treated during the mentorship session. Okay. Now we have the interview preparation. Like I said earlier on, if you have a job interview, we always prep you for it. All right, we always prep you for it. And then we have the mentorship session, like I said earlier on. We have the job reference data that will be provided to you, and also the on-site, on the job support that you get when you start interning with us. Okay, so now talking about the reference later. I'm going to shortly play this video. It's about one of our interns. She also got the job. Okay, she also got the job. She talked about how good the reference data that was provided to her helped her to get the job. Okay, so I'm going to quickly just play the part where she talked about the reference data. I'm just going to briefly play the part where she talked about the reference data so that we can move on. Like I promised you guys, we'll spend more than 1 hour here, but yeah.
Using them and
Please
all this.
confirm
So it was
this. Can
pretty
you
good.
hear?
And then the reference too from your hand was pretty tight because they actually had to mention it. Good. And then the reference using all the technical tools that I've learned at Tamdari, using them and all this. So it was pretty good. And then the reference too from your hand was pretty tight because they actually had to mention it that my references were hair tight, that they were actually considering 2 people, but my references actually nailed it for me.
Amazing. That gladdens my heart. That really, really glad.
Okay, guys. So
My heart. So
we had that
last
right.
question.
Like I said, I don't want to play it in full. So guys, please ensure you fill the form. Okay, ensure you fill the form so that share the slide with you. All right, ensure you fill the form so that we'll share the slide. So let me go back to my my slide. So that is it for the reference data. Okay, that's it for the reference data that will be given to you once you start interning with us and once you request for it. Okay. So join our internship that collapse the learning curve, the stakeholder meeting. You get to see all these things play in action. All right. Real tools, real collaboration, real business delivery, and
Hi guys, it seems that Chichi has a network issue. Just give us some seconds. She'll be back with us shortly.
hello, Mide. Please confirm if you can hear me now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Please go on.
All right. Sorry about that. I don't know where you guys lost me. All right. Please confirm if this is where I was before I got kicked out of this. Was this where I was?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So let's continue. Okay, so guys, our next onboarding is taking place on 6th of December. Okay, that's when we are having our next onboarding. And guess what, guys? I don't know, maybe it's because it's my birthday. All right. I'm already in the spirit. Maybe it's because it's my birthday. Well, we are having a sales going on. We are having sales promo going on. Okay. Instead of the 500 pounds, instead of the 500 pounds, you get an a discount actually. You get a discount for 103 per month. So maybe if you decide to pay it instrumentally, you pay 103 instrumentally, okay, for 3 months. However, you'll be getting 1 month free. Okay, you're going to be getting 1 month free, making it 4 months. Remember, I said that the internship is for 4 months. So you pay for 3 months and get 1 month free. Okay. So that's it from the Cyber Monday sales that we are currently doing. So guys, I want to encourage everybody to rush this very opportunity. Rush this very what opportunity. I said instead of paying the $500, 500 pounds at a go, we are having this discount. Okay, where you get to pay 103 pounds per month instrumentally per month. That's for then for the 3 months we have 309. Okay, so guys, how many of us are going in for this? Because there is no time. Hello, Mide, are you there?
Yes, I am. So I'm just pasting the link for payment into the comments now.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, guys, so this is it, all right? I just said it earlier on, okay, where you get to save 190 pounds. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a whole lot, right? You get to save 190 pounds because of this Black Friday that the Cyber Monday sales that we are doing. Okay, I think I'm that reason the spirit of my birthday. So, guys, do not sleep on it. Okay, ensure. grab this as it is now. You get to pay £310 instead of £500. Okay? And the programs that we have that we run include data analytics, data science, data engineering, business analysis, project management, cybersecurity, ethical pen testing, and GRC. Okay? You can enroll for any of this. Okay? So if you want to make your payment, this is it's just very simple, and it is it is friendly, user friendly. All right, they are user friendly. If you want to if you want to talk with someone, you can go ahead and send an email or send a message to any of this email number or to any of this WhatsApp number. Okay, so to make your payments, all right, to make your payments, just a moment. So to make your payment, you can click on this main stack, that link there, and it will take you to a site for where you can make your payment. Like I said, it is user friendly. Like it is very, very user friendly. Just a moment, I think perhaps that is not showing anymore. Okay, so it will take you to this place. All right. If you want to chat with someone or you want to make payment registration form, so these are the courses, the subjects or the programs that we run. Okay. Any of them that you want to go ahead with, you click on it. Okay. Let's say I want to go with data engineering. Okay. So once you click on any of the programs that you want to go with, it will bring you to a place where you make your payments, where you input your information, and it's just user friendly. Okay, it's just user friendly. Depending on the currency that you want to make your payments with, you can easily change that from here. Okay, if it is USD, if it is British pounds, or anyone that you want to use for your payment. Okay, you go ahead and click on it. If it is one time, if it is two times, or the three times that you want to make your payment, you click on any one. Probably you want to pay instrumentally. Okay, we allow instrumental payments. So you click on this one and secure your internship. Okay. I don't know if there is any question. Any question, guys? Any question? Do you have any question? Regarding this, I requested to switch my program. Let me see. From January back to December. Okay. Which email did you send the message to? Adeni, you can unmute yourself, please.
Hello. I spoke to one of the, I don't know, someone, one of the, what would I call you, that held a meeting like few days ago.
All right. Just
Yes.
kindly send it. Okay. Send a message to finance@amdari. Okay.
Okay.
And participants.relation@amdari.
Oh, let me write that down, please. That's finance
at Amdari.
All right.
At Amdari.
Okay, at Amdari. Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they will respond to that.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. So guys, Mide, do you have something to say?